6:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is a news edited by Lakshman Fonseca and read by J. Yogaraj for C headlines. The President directs to provide financial assistance from the President's Fund for liver transplant surgeries and cochlear implant surgeries for young children. The President visits former Minister Gamini Jayavikrama Perera. Police launches a program to prevent the distribution of narcotics around schools. Agriculture Minister Mahinda Amaravira instructs officials to blacklist businessmen who purchase paddy below the control price. The CID instructed to investigate the procurement process of former Medical Supplies Division. News overseas, UN Secretary General appoints the former French Foreign Minister to head up an independent review of the UN Relief and Works Agency. And those are the headlines. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has directed to provide financial assistance from the President's Fund for liver transplant surgeries for young children at the Ragama Teaching Hospital. The President's Media Division said the move is aimed to alleviate the financial burden on the improvised parents and support the welfare of children. Accordingly, the President has approved 1 million rupees from the President's Fund for each liver transplant surgery meeting common conditions. The PMD stated the financial support will be effective from January 1st, 2024. The PMD also said medical tests have revealed that over 200 children in Sri Lanka require a cochlear implant surgery, a procedure crucial for their auditory development. According to the Ministry of Health, the implant surgery is conducted at the Sri Jayawardena General Hospital, an implant device valued at approximately 3 to 4 million rupees. Although the Ministry of Health provides the device to the hospital free of charge, patients are required to cover the surgery costs. President Ranil Wickremesinghe visited the residence of former Minister Gamini Jayavikrama Perera, who is currently unwell, to inquire about his condition. The President made his way to Mr. Gamini Jayavikrama Perera's home in Katugambala, engaging in a brief conversation with him to check on his well-being. During his visit, the President also conversed with the family members of Mr. Gamini Jayavikrama Perera, gathering information about his health and offering his support. Following this, the President took the opportunity to interact with the local community near Mr. Jayavikrama Perera's residence, engaging in a friendly exchange with the people of the area. Former Minister Akila Viraj Karivasam and former North Western Provincial Council member Asanka Jayavikrama, who is the son of Mr. Jayavikrama, were also present at this occasion. This news comes to you from Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Your next generation digital banking partner, People's Bank.
Police have launched a program to prevent the distribution of narcotics around schools under the program Pahura, or the Barrier. The Acting Inspector General of Police, Deshamadhu Tennakoon, said the move came after a survey carried out by Police Intelligence Unit. He said the Criminal Investigation Department and Special Task Force revealed that 4,893 schools were vulnerable as there were persons selling drugs around schools' premises. He added, after the start of the new school term, over 500 persons have been arrested on allegations of the trading drugs to school children or operating around schools. During the raids, 85 kilograms of heroin, 48 grams of ice, and 1,561 narcotics pills, 1,285 contraband cigarettes, and 2 kilograms of cannabis have been detected. The acting IGP said under the Power program, committees have been formed to get the assistance of teachers, parents and students and other public groups. According to police, some 400 schools have been identified as vulnerable for other vices, including the consumption of liquor around schools. Minister Mahinda Amaravira has instructed officials to blacklist mill owners, paddy collectors and storehouse owners who purchase paddy below the government's control price. The government has taken measures to purchase paddy of Maha season. Accordingly, the government provides loans through state banks with a concessionary interest rate to purchase paddy. A control price has also been set up for the benefit of the farmers. The minister stressed that it is unfair to purchase paddy with a lower price, and those who are purchasing paddy under lower price will be blacklisted. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Agriculture says the high yield can be expected this season from island wine. This was revealed by a research survey conducted by the Batalagoda Paddy Research Institute. The Criminal Investigation Division has been instructed to investigate the procurement process of former Medical Supplies Division. The procurement process will be investigated based on the instructions from the Attorney General. This order follows the arrest of former Health Minister K.L. Rambukwella in connection with the substandard human immunoglobulin transaction. The CID has also been instructed to investigate all registered pharmaceutical companies in the country. And that's local news.
Enjoy seamless shopping. Open LCs, settle bills and transfer funds instantly, anywhere and anytime. With People's Bank Digital Solutions, you're empowered to do more whenever and wherever you want. Unlock a world of modern banking conveniences with People's Bank, your next generation digital banking partner. People's Bank.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe has directed to provide financial assistance from the President's Fund for liver transplant surgeries for young children at Ragama Teaching Hospital. The President's Media Division said this move is aimed to alleviate the financial burden on impoverished parents and support the welfare of children. Accordingly, the President has approved 1 million rupees from the President's Fund for each liver transplant surgery.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
Moving on to watch slide, media spokesman of the Government Medical Officers Association, Dr. Chamil Vijay Singh, says more than 1,700 doctors, specialists and medical professionals have left the country in the last 2 years. He said the situation is resulted due to the prevailing crisis and continuous economic battles faced by the people of the country. He stressed that the situation has affected the activities of the large and small-scale hospitals across the island, and many rural hospitals are without operation due to adequate number of medical doctors.
Coming up, world news.
The headlines: the UN Secretary General appoints a former French Foreign Minister to head up an independent review of the UN Relief and Works Agency. Florida was blocked from enforcing a ban on Chinese citizens owning homes or land in the state. Israeli military says it has discovered tunnels underneath the main headquarters of UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees in Gaza. And those are the headlines of the world news. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has appointed a former French foreign minister to head up an independent review of the UN agency that assists Palestinian refugees. The agency said to be involved in the scandal and has lost almost $400 million in contribution from donors. Former French Foreign Minister Catherine Colonna will lead the group. He is to start work on February 14th and submit a preliminary report to Guterres in late March. A final public report will follow towards the end of April. Florida was blocked from enforcing a ban on Chinese citizens owning homes or land in the state against 2 Chinese citizens by the U.S. Appeal Court. The 2 individuals were in the process of buying property when the law came into force. On Thursday, a panel of the Atlanta-based 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeal said 2 Chinese nationals were likely to prevail on claims that the Florida's ban violates a federal law governing real estate purchases by foreigners. Israeli military says it has discovered tunnels underneath the main headquarters of the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees in Gaza City, alleging that Hamas militants used the space as an electrical supply room. The unveiling of the tunnels marked the latest chapter in Israel's campaign against the embattled agency, which which it accuses of collaborating with Hamas. Recent Israel allegations that a dozen staff members participated in the Hamas attack on Israel October 7th plunged the agency into a financial crisis, prompting major donor states to suspend their funding. And that's world news. In development news, the central bank will embark on a new monetary framework to maintain inflation around 5% in the long run. Central Bank Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe said if the central bank did not tighten the monetary policy during the crisis period, the country would not have been in this position today. He said that although the move to increase the interest rate at that time came under criticism, it had to be done to control rising inflation and to build up buffers. And that came to you in development news.
Moving on with sports news.
Sri Lanka Badminton is set to host the second international tournament of the month, the Lining Sri Lanka International Series. It will be played from February 13th to 18th at the Dadella Sports Complex in Galle. The tournament, authorized by Badminton World Federation, will be featuring 303 athletes from 16 nations. And that's sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth ekata life ekේ change ekata niyamata set wenna as wahagena dakapu hina habe karanna youth ekata niyamata set wenna friendship ekata menna.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Sri Lanka's first ever floating resort, Bolagala Agro Floating Resort in Negombo, will be opened on March 1st, 2024. The chairman of the Bolagala Agro Floating Resort, Kalum Pereira, said the resort boasts 31 meticulously crafted cabanas spread across 13 acres of water surface. He added that the innovation in the hospitality industry is taking remarkable strides towards eco-friendly practices. And that's business news.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth ekata life ekේ change ekata niyamata set wenna as wahagena dakapu hina habe karanna youth ekata niyamata set wenna friendship ekata menna.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
In economic news, the Urban Development Authority and Dilma Ceylon Tea Company entered into MOU to improve the sustainability of Beddagama Wetland Park. According to biologist, Beddagama Wetland Park is an ecological haven for local and foreign tourists and is well recognized tourist destination today. The park was started in 2014 by the Urban Development Authority under the assistance of the World Bank and handed over to the public in 2016. Biologists say the wetland park, which is a part of the Sri Jayawardhanapura Kote Bird Sanctuary, is home to many different native bird species, fishes, butterflies and dragonflies. And that's economic news. Weather report. The Met Department says the prevailing dry weather condition in the eastern and Uva provinces is expected to temporarily change from tomorrow. Several spells of showers will occur in eastern and Uva provinces. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in western and Sambrakkama provinces and in Nuwara, Galle and Mathura districts after 2 p.m. Fairly strong winds about 30 to 40 kilometers per hour can be expected at times in eastern slopes of the Central Hills and in northern, north central, southern, northwestern, Uva and eastern provinces. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in western and Sambrakkama provinces and in Galle, Mathura districts during the morning hours too. And that was the weather report. To wind up this news broadcast, let's look at the main points once again. The President directs to provide financial assistance from the President's Fund for liver transplant surgeries. The President visits former Minister Gamini Jayawikrama Pereira. Police launches a program to prevent the distribution of the narcotics around schools. Agriculture Minister Mahinda Amaravira instructs officials to blacklist businessmen who purchase paddy below the control prices. The CID instructed to investigate the procurement process of former Medical Supplies Division. News Overseas UN Secretary General appoints the former French Foreign Minister to head up an independent review of the UN Relief and Works Agency. And with that, we conclude this evening news podcast of Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. It's back to Chagi to keep you company with the rest of the programs this Sunday evening.